Now, let's meet the starting lineups for the St. Francis Cougars. First, the line is sophomore guard, number 1, Sylvia Stout. Next, the line junior guard, number 3, Isabella Christie. Next, the line sophomore guard, number 5, Callie Gregory. Next, the line junior guard, number 14, Taylor Forsyth. And finally, the 6-foot junior forward, number 21, Brenna Swinson. The assistant coaches are Austin Carter and David Posey. The associate head coach is Austin Leisure. And the head coach for St. Francis is Jeremy Penny. Now it's time for the starters for the Indiana Northwest Redhawks. First, the 5-1 sophomore guard, number 1, Ava Kingery. Next, the 5-10 junior guard, number 2, Delore Watson. Next, the 6-1 senior forward, number 11, E.J. Brown. Next, the 5-8 sophomore guard, number 24, Madeline Murray. And finally, the 5'8" senior forward, number 25, Maggie Brady. The assistant coaches are Sarah Martin, along with Lauren and Isaiah Gransberry. And the head coach for the Redhawks is Nikki Full-On-Key.
From the Shannon Center in Mount Greenwood, Chicago with St. Xavier University. Welcome to the first game of the Catholic Classic. It's St. Francis, Indiana, and Indiana Northwest. St. Francis in blue and black, Indiana Northwest in red. We're underway with the first game of this four-game, four-team tournament. And it's Callie Gregory at point guard for the St. Francis, Indiana Cougars. Swinging it around Taylor Fordyce, and this is Isabella Gizzi. Samia Stout up top. Gizzi, 10 on the shot clock, bouncing it for Callie Gregory. 1-on-2 inside, turning up with the left hand. And rebounded on the inside. One time by Schweiderman. Can't control, it's out of bounds, and it's a defensive stop to start the game for the Redhawks, who come in with a record of 1-2. They play in the CCAC. St. Francis come in 2-0. They play in the Crossroads. And they're ranked number 8 nationally, and they got a 3. Kingery got a 3 for Indiana Northwest to get us on the board. Gregory off the mark and rebounded by Demore Watson for the Redhawks. Up ahead for Maggie Grady. And Watson will take it up top. Griffin, 6'1", E.J. Griffin is stripped of the ball on the way through by Schweiderman. Schweiderman 6 feet there against the 6'1" E.J. Brown Griffin with 11 seconds on the shot clock. Brown Griffin lost it, got it back, 6 on the shot clock. Watson gets a screen from Brown Griffin, tough shot, air ball. Might have clipped the backboard, doesn't matter, it's a shot clock violation. And it's the Cougars coming in 2-0, ranked 8th nationally in NAIA. But yet to get on the board here. Schweiderman lost a handle. And diving on top of it for the steal was Kingery. Murray there on that near side, 24. Watson. Brown Griffin denied by Stout, but it trickles out of bounds and it'll stay with the Red Hawks. Play there by the 5'7" Stout. But it'll be taken out underneath by Murray for Indiana Northwest. Brown Griffin from the elbow. Got it. E.J. Brown Griffin, the senior from Chicago. Schweiderman short. Another offensive rebound. Gregory, second try for her, and it's good. Sophomore guard Gregory, and it's 5-2. That finally gets the Cougars on the board, 5-2. Indiana Northwest. Stout with the steal. Schweiderman 4-on-2 for a moment. Oh, off the hands of Gizzy, and coming back the other way is Grady. Grady on Stout. Good with the left hand. Maggie Grady, senior from Frankfort, Illinois. From Joliet Junior College, 7-2. Redhawks in front against the 2-0 Cougars. Good look for three. Gizzy, no. Watson, the rebound. Watson downhill and stripped. Schweiderman splits defenders and takes it all the way through. (7-4). Indiana Northwest with 4 minutes gone in the first quarter. In the first game of the Catholic Classic here at St. Xavier. Murray for Kingery. And a travel. As she was being defended by Stout. And now some subs. Ashley Cox and Allison Show, both freshmen coming in there for the Cougars. Gregory skipping inside, 3 defenders to contend with. Counted in a foul. Foul goes on Kingery and a chance at a 3-point play. Converted by Gregory, is averaging 12 points per game over the first 2 games, and after conceding the first 5 points, the Cougars have tied it at 7. Floated inside for Shamaria LaCase. Didn't work out. Sweeping through was Fordyce. No. Watson with pace. Followed up by Watson. 9-7. Redhawks. Putting it on the floor. Gizzy backs it out. Cox stepped on the sideline. And Marist was going to come on, but we're going to get a timeout here. 9-7. Indiana Northwest lead here on neutral territory. 9-7 in the first. Back underway. Redhawks, the 9-7 lead. In their fourth game of the season, trying to give the Cougars their first loss in St. Francis' third game of the season. Watson off the rim. And fired out. Gregory was looking for wrist.
For St. Francis, number 15, Julia Montina.
Julia Mantilla there coming in for St. Francis, who now have used 5 subs already. That's Kingery. Grady with 7 on the shot clock. Watson for 3. Taken down by Sheo. Sheo draws the foul. Trying to get around LaCase.
41, Jovaria Lacoste. Her first personal, second team foul for the Redhawks. At the line shooting 2, Allison Shaw.
Shaw. The line for 2 shots. 3 for 3 on the season before missing that. Averages 8 points per game. And through just the 2 games that they've played so far, and it's 9-8 Redhawks, who have had the lead since the first points of the game. We were tied at 7, but haven't trailed. LaCase inside, 1 on 3. Somehow makes his way out there to Kingery. Thrown across. Watson's going to be tied up there by wrist. Looks like for Indiana Northwest, they've got Denise Fuentes into the game as well. Two seconds on the shot clock only after the tie-up. Kingery got it off in time and scores. That's Kingery. It's 11-8. But again is Fordyce turning around and drawing a foul. Be the third team foul. All of them have gone against the Redhawks, and all of them have resulted in at least a free throw. That's the second actually on Kingery as she checks out. Murray comes in. Fordyce averages 11 points per game.
And Taylor Fordyce is at the line.
Fuentes gets the screen from LaCase, who wasn't rolling to the basket. As anticipated, Royst was a player who benefited with a steal. There's a three from Shu. No. Oh, rebound for Royst. Royst. That's a man Tillop with the mid-range. Another offensive rebound by Fortis that time. There's 2 minutes left and a long possession. Under 10 to shoot once more. Fordyce spinning inside off the rim. No, and finally taken down by a Red Hawk by LaCase. Deflected out by Cox. Stout back in, and Brown Griffin back in for their respective teams.
And E.J. Brown Griffin checks back in for the Redhawks.
Tonight in the paint, Shu with the steal. Underneath, unable to get it was Roost. And a strip. Taking it the other way is Murray. Brown Griffin. Off the bank. 13-9. Turnaround is good for Shu. Freshman. Not sure what that was. Maybe an issue with the shot clock. It's about a 12-second difference, shot clock to game clock. With the score 13-11, Indiana Northwest. Watson in no hurry, guarded there by Roost. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Watson up top, Fuentes, and Stout anticipates the pass. Stout the other way. Too strong on the layup. On the rebound, a foul is drawn by Cox.
Foul called on number 2, Delmore Watson. Her first personal, 14th foul for the Redhawks. At the line shooting 2, Ashley Cox.
Cox at the line, and a chance to bring it closer. Gets the second and makes it 13-12. 5 seconds left of the quarter. Watson double teamed. Cross Grady. Extra feed. This would count for Murray. But that brings the first quarter to an end. Indiana Northwest with a good first quarter, which they have not trailed. They take a 1-point lead into the second. It's 13-12.
Get exclusive AME content at URL.X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and and TikTok by following them at NAIA or at Play NAIA. So don't miss out and follow the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics on social media today.
Thanks again for joining us for this one. My name is Jonah White. Madison Wilcox is our producer. As we go in the second quarter, it's the Redhawks 13, the Cougars 12 after 1 quarter of play, and it's another foul on Indiana Northwest. E.J. Griffin's going to pick this one up. Should be on the floor as she was trying to... J. Brown Griffin there, trying to take it away from Schreiderman. Gizzy, stout walk.
Redhawks ball.
Three preseason all Crossroads first team players for the Cougars coming into this season. They're picked to finish first in that conference. 8 again overall. Brown Griffin comes up short. Gregory, Gizzy, and Schreiderman all on the preseason first team. Schreiderman.
Out. Redhawks ball.
As that one didn't catch anything.
Number 24, Emma Royce.
Roost. Chop it in. There's Fuentes. Archer. Good. Teresa Fuentes. Junior guard. And it is 16-12. The biggest lead, I believe, since it was 5-0. Gizzy turned around from short range and got it back. 1-on-2. Feeds it out. Stumbling through, and a traveler scrawl on Schreiderman. Watson lost the handle, now stuck in the corner, 1-on-2, in trouble, bats it out to Fuentes. Brown Griffin provides the screen, fighting through it there. And there's a foul. I believe it's the first foul of the game that's going to be called on the Cougars.
Foul number 21, Brittany Schreiderman.
Schreiderman gets the call. Brown Griffin. Fuentes, good screen. Opens up some space for the mid-range, off to the left, and that uncontested rebound for Roost. Schreiderman inside, they wave off the shot, foul on the floor.
Foul called on number 11, E.J. Brown Griffin.
It's on Brown Griffin, it's her second personal foul, and she'll step out for LaCage. So Kingery and Brown Griffin on 2 fouls now for Indiana Northwest. Gregory. Baseline, no. Got it back. The reverse underneath is good for Callie Gregory, the sophomore. 16-14 Red Hawks. Grady holding. Fuentes gets a LeKay screen, pick and roll, fired out for Grady. Short. Rebound is tipped and gathered by Gregory. Schreiderman, good defense by LeKay, picked up by Watson. Fuentes. Air ball. Caught by Gizzy. Up ahead, Fordyce. To the corner, Gregory. Yes. And with that, the first lead of the game for the St. Francis, Indiana Cougars. 17-16. It was 5-0 St. Francis. Then it was tied at 7, but after that, Indiana Northwestern had the lead until that 3. 5 seconds here for Watson. Handed to face. The air ball is rebounded by Gregory. Roost around the horn and scores. Grady up and under for 2.
Grady.
19-18 Cougars, 3. Royce. Other offensive rebound. That time it was Gizzy setting up a chance for Schreiderman, but it's out of bounds. Kingery back in. She's on 2 fouls. And for the first time, Ania Hinton Henry, number 20 in red and white. A 1-point lead for St. Francis. Hinton Henry. Kingery, a long 3, spills it in. 21-19. Throw it inside, but off the hands of Montilla, who got it back. Montilla, lost it and then stole it back and put it in. Tied at 21. Grady, short. Pushed by Gizzy. Gregory. Hook shot. Got it. Cougars up by 2. Over half the time gone in the second quarter. And the Cougars look like they might have their toughest opponent of the 3 that they've had this season so far. Kingery gets a screen from Grady. Instead, Fuentes blocked by Rust. On the way back, Gizzy going up and getting blocked.
Media timeouts. Hey fans, get connected with CCAC anytime by visiting ccacsports.com or complete coverage of all the latest news, scores, standings, and championship results of your favorite teams all around the league. That's CCAC.
So we get a timeout, 23-21, the Cougars in front.
And follow the CCAC on X via @CCAC Sports.
4 minutes left in the second quarter. And a close game here. That's inadvertently tipped straight at Roost, and a foul. That's Cox, rather. Cox with the steal and draws a foul against Murray.
13th foul for Indiana Northwest. At the line, shooting 2, Ashley Cox.
Cox at the line, and it's the biggest lead. Should be here for St. Francis, I believe, at 3 points. Redhawks have led most of the way. Kingery caught by Shu. Another steal, but it's thrown away, thrown out of bounds. Cox couldn't stay in. Fuentes comes in for the Redhawks. Watson at the point. Trying to fire it in, and too much on the pass for Murray. St. Xavier and Marion will play the second game of the Catholic Classic here at St. Xavier right after this game. And then we'll have 2 new matchups tomorrow featuring the same teams. That's off the rim and no good from Roost. And out of bounds. Marion will host Indiana Northwest at 4 tomorrow right here, and then it'll be St. Xavier and St. Francis at 6. (24-21) Cougars throw it inside and getting a hand in there. A paw, if you will, was the Cougar shoe. Forcing that turnover, but unable to connect with Cox. Schreiderman and Gregory back in for St. Francis. Cougars won their first game of the season by 40. They won their second game of the season by 46. This one doesn't look like it's headed in that direction as Lacaze draws a foul, receiving it on the inside. Beat Fitterbow 86-46, beat Cornerstone 91-45, but so far, Redhawks have been competitive. Lacaze draws another foul, this time Schreiderman. Second foul on her, third team foul. Free throws here for Jamaria Lacaze.
At the line, shooting 2, Jamaria Lacaze.
Redhawks come in 1-2. Their win was in overtime. 88-83 over Grace College. Then lost by 1 point to Aquinas College at home before losing 95-56 against number 10 Indiana Wesleyan. So they just lost to the number 10 ranked team by 39, but here against the number 8 ranked team, they're behind by just 1 with over 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Fordyce blocked. Watson was there. Retrieved by Lacaze. Watson spinning inside, contested and banks it in. Tamora Watson, the junior from Chicago. Fordyce rattles it home and puts the Cougars back on top, 27-25. Grady, guarded by Fordyce. Shifted on by Murray for LaCase. Watson asks for a screen, goes the other way. LaCase, 7 on the shot clock, 1 on 2 on the baseline, no, taken the other way by Fordyce, 3 on 2. Stout back outside for Mantella.
Out. Redhawks ball.
And Gizzy's back in
Isabella Grizzy checks back in for St. Francis.
for St. Francis.
1 minute remaining in the first half. 1 minute.
Final minute of the half. Redhawks down by 2. An impressive first half for them. Still have a chance to tie or take the lead going into halftime. They smooth there by Watson, but would not go. Gregory found Stout. Goes back to Gregory. Off the rim, long rebound, Fordyce. Still about a 4-second difference between the clocks, and Fordyce comes up short. Fuentes, the rebound, shot clock is off. Redhawks with the ball down by 2. Could tie or take the lead before halftime. A strip by Schweiderman. 3 seconds, Schweiderman goes up and scores! And a timeout. Or rather, a halftime comes after that. Big play by Schweiderman. Turns a Cougar possession, turns a Redhawks possession into Cougar points going into halftime. So that's a score at the end of the first half. We'll see you on the other side. Halftime, it's a St. Francis University Indiana Cougars 29, the Indiana University Northwest Redhawks 25.
Charge your computer.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Question, do you get good Wi-Fi here? Are you on the, actual campus Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
I'm on guest. And
Yeah, that's the only one that's available.
Well, that's it. It's just, should it be working or not really?
It's been spotty.
Okay, that's fine. I just, if there's something I can do for work, but if it doesn't. Sorry about that, because literally tomorrow, can it be basketball as well?
Yeah. I'm going to have you just come here for the football game.
Okay, so that'll be on the computer, I'll be watching it on the computer.
And it takes me a step to have to break everything down.
No, you're right, you have to watch it online, for sure.
If you're able to get internet, check the website.
Yeah. I usually turn this off at halftime just because I don't know
Should I mute
what's
it?
up. What? No, I got it. Just
Copyright.
what?
Like, so I won't copyright the live.
Oh, that too. I didn't think of that.
Should I mute it?
Well, I just turned off. I don't think this is the only. There's no crowd mic, is there? I just muted the headset.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's a good point because it's on YouTube.
27 early in the third.
You want me to
Nearly 3 minutes, Scott, in this third quarter as the Cougars are trying to take this game over. They trailed for most of the first half. Schwederman, though, had the last 2 points of the second quarter, the first 4 points of this third quarter. It's 37-27. The St. Francis Cougars, the 8th-ranked team in NAIA, have the lead. But there's a steal by Kingery for the Redhawks. Kingery. And a whistle. Taking it out still, Watson for Indiana Northwest. Murray popping it inside, helped on by LaCage for Grady. Here's Kingery. Murray driving inside, Grady way off balance and out of control under pressure for Taylor Fordyce. Gregory. One-on-one with Kingery, and that is the charge. 5'1" Kingery trying to defend the 5'10" Gregory, and one-on-one, he gets the charge there. But still a 10-point lead for the Cougars. Watson, pick and roll. LaCase, well executed, but it's under the rim. Fordyce with the defense and the rebound. Fordyce on Watson. Stopping the ball. Stout with the cut and the two. Shamia Stout. The Cougars have opened up a 12-point lead, a 10-2 run to start the second half. Grady all the way around Gregory, who keeps their position. Gregory guarded by Grady now. Gregory goes up with one hand, comes up short. Grady the rebound. Watson spins through the legs of Fuentes, and it was Gizzy on defense. On the deck, Gizzy for two more. Isabella Gizzy, the junior guard. 41-29. Ambitious pass. Fuentes able to somehow find Hinton Henry. And it's stolen by Gizzy. Gizzy for another two. The Cougars taking a stranglehold on this game. Game that was led again by Indiana Northwest for the majority of the first half. It was a 2-point game, and Indiana Northwest had the ball at the tail end of the half. There's Watson off the window for two. Two back for Indiana Northwest, but Schwederman there. Remember, with less than 30 seconds to go, really at the very end of the first half, stole the ball and scored to make it a 4-point halftime game, but now it's 14. Just over half of the third quarter gone, and Fordyce splits defenders for a 2. 16 points, the margin for a team that's won each of their first 2 games by 40 and by 46, and a takeaway by Fordyce. And Kegary's behind the play, and it's 5-on-4. Gregory will pop. Around it out. Gregory gets it off the tip. Gizzy. Watson the rebound for Indiana Northwest. Watson trying to go through, draws a foul. And if that's on Schwederman, that's her third. It is. So maybe the first item of concern here for the Cougars in this third quarter.
Second media timeout.
As we get two-day tournament. Early the non-conference part of the regular season. St. Francis Cougars looking to keep their perfect start to the season intact. Watson there at the line, missing the first free throw for Indiana Northwest. Came out of the gates really strong in this game. Led by 1 at the end of the first quarter. But the third quarter so far, it's been 16-4 for St. Francis. 8th ranked nationally out of the Crossroads League. And with a back to the basket, turning and scoring is Gizzy. Fuentes from the top of the key. Rebound, Mantilla. Chance to go up by 20 for Ashley Cox. Count it and a foul. Dominant third quarter for St. Francis. Murray called for the foul.
Maggie Britton checks back in for Indiana Northwest. And also checking in number 12, Diamond Howard. Completing the 3-point play is Ashley Cox.
Ashley Cox gets it to go, 50-29. 21-4 in this third quarter for the Cougars. Grady. Fuentes, entry for Brown Griffin, and she's met by Cox. $11 on the shot clock for Fuentes to inbound. Brown Griffin trying to create space. There was none. Watson steps inside. One-hand hook shot is good for Demore Watson, and she's the first Redhawks player into double digits for the game. She's got 10 and 6 rebounds, does Demore Watson. Gizzy turning back and forth. Shu, 1-on-2 on the baseline. Good feed, but on the sideline. That was Cox as she received it. Watson backing it out. Looking on Gizzy. Throw it across. There's Watson from Fuentes. Off the front of the rim. Rebound Roos. Up ahead. Gizzy against Watson. The delay. Clever from Gizzy, and she's got 8 points now. Minute left in the third quarter. It's been the defining quarter of the game. Brown Griffin in between a couple of Cougars. CJ Brown Griffin. Turning, throwing it up. Gizzy, rebound there by Grady. 1 second difference, shot clock to game clock. And that's just kind of thrown in there inside. It'll be a steal for Ashley Cox. Rose to the basket, draws a foul. First foul on Fuentes. 6.3 on the third quarter clock. By the way, Diamond Howells was briefly in there for Indiana Northwest, number 12. So she's back on the bench now as the second free throw is good. It's a 21-point game with a second left, and Watson almost hits it from the logo. But that is the end of the third quarter. This one becoming a little bit one-sided. It's the Cougars with a 21-point lead after 3. Watson around it out. Rebound Gizzy, pushes it for Fordyce. Extra feed, Gregory got a three. And Callie Gregory's got 21 points. And the difference is 30 on the scoreboard. Timeout Redhawks, 63-33, 7:26 left to the fourth quarter. I said this earlier when it was back and forth in the first half, but it's maybe even more relevant now. I think probably the Redhawks can take some comfort in the fact that the Cougars won their first game by 40 points and their second game by 46 points. Ranked 8th in the country, and so the bad news is for Indiana Northwest is that things aren't actually going to get any easier this weekend. There's two for Jamaria LaCase. Things aren't getting any easier this weekend for Indiana Northwest. Their game tomorrow was against Marion, who's ranked 5th in the country. Fordyce comes up short. Watson takes it back. And a steal for Gizzy. Up ahead, Fordyce rolls off the rim and in for Taylor Fordyce. Kingery. Grady. Watson tries to cross over and sticking glued to her is Gizzy, a little bit too much glued to her, and a foul. And wholesale changes coming up. Abby Stoddard, Rachel Harshman, Deanna Craig, there's Watson, comes out for Fuentes. Rebound for Watson, another rebound for Watson. 1 on 2, and a tie-up earned by Rachel Harshman, the sophomore. So let's see, out there for the Cougars, Craig, Harshman, Roost. Harshman with the steal. LaCase trying to get it back, and does off the out of bounds. Looks like Cox is still in there, and Stoddard. Under 6 minutes left, 65-35. And again, Indiana Northwest play 5th-ranked Marion tomorrow. Their last game was against 10th-ranked Indiana Wesleyan, and after that they start CCAC play with Olivet Nazarene, who were receiving votes in the poll. Watson off the mark there, helped up ahead for Craig. It's a good pass by Cox. She's got it back. Cox. Stoddard inside Cox turning, scooping. Grady's got it back, trying to set up the breakaway for Watson. Coming back the other way is Roost. Craig. And Harshman hits from mid-range. So kind of a gauntlet in the early part of the season. As Watson draws the foul. Shot doesn't count. Stoddard called for the foul. Brown Griffin back in. Kingery back in for Indiana Northwest. For the Cougars, they'll play St. Xavier, the host. Of the Catholic Classic in the final game of the tournament tomorrow evening. Stoddard met by Brown Griffin. Harshman. Brown Griffin trying to secure the rebound, and it's a tie-up. That brings it back here to the Cougars. Mount Vernon Nazarene will start conference play for the Cougars on November 19th. Pretty ball, good from Emma Roost. Crossover, Watson doing what she can, comes up short, fighting for the rebound, and earns it off a deflection out of bounds. Watson leads her team with 12 points. She's got a chance at a double-double. She's got 9 rebounds as well, does Demore Watson, as Griffin stepped on the baseline. The other side, Gregory, 21 points and 7 rebounds. Schreiderman, 10 points and 6 rebounds. Now the Cougar starters aren't out there anymore. Look like Brown Griffin there with the steal. 3.5 to go. Swung in there by Watson for Kingery. Keeps her feet. Kingery got it back. Rebounded by Harshman. Up ahead to Craig. Craig twists it in off the glass. Kingery. At the moment, this is still the closest to the Cougars' 3 games this season. Fuentes back in along with Hinton Henry and Troutman. And 46, the margins of the Cougars' first 2 games. This one right now is a 35-point game. Craig at and out, and still credit the Red Hawks. Harshman there off the glass. Credit the Red Hawks for having the lead at the end of the first quarter. Having a back and forth first half that they ended down by only 4. As Troutman will go to the line, shoot. Call for the foul. Troutman. Junior goes 1 for 2, gets her first point of the game. Harshman tracks down the rebound to the corner, and it was Howell trying to cause a turnover. Kingery's got 8 points for Indiana Northwest. Brown Griffin with 6. Gizzy and Fordyce with 8 for the Cougars. Roost has 7. Cox has 5. Stout and Harshman have 4. Storming out of the gates at the beginning of the third quarter was the Cougars. Harshman goes up and gets fouled. So that first few minutes of the third quarter that turned this from a close game to a runaway here for the Cougars. With under 2 minutes to go in the fourth. And stay with us right after this. We'll have the second game of the Catholic Classic, St. Xavier against Marion. Both of these teams will be scouting. St. Francis has St. Xavier tomorrow, and Indiana Northwest has Marion tomorrow. Fuente. Chapman. Stripped away by Stoddard. Craig. Oh, nice move by Craig. Shoveling it from under the basket to Harshman for 2. Howell trying to get past Harshman, and a foul is called. That's going to be the 4th team foul against the Cougars in the fourth quarter. Giselle Chavez is there, number 3 in red and white, onto the court. That's out off of Harshman. Chavez out there with Fuentes, Howell, Troutman, and Hinton Henry. Here in the final minute. Troutman bounces off the rim and out. Shu, 1-on-3, pushes it up, and it will fall for Shu. 79-38, Craig underneath. About a 1 second difference here, shot clock and the game clock. Pretty much all the damage done in the second half by the St. Francis Cougars at this one. Another 3 points. Shu will get it there. We're getting a time adjustment here for the last possession. It's a 4-point game at halftime, a 1-point lead for Indiana Northwest at the end of the first quarter. But an impressive second half here from the Cougars. 2 seconds left. Chavez, and that is it. The 8th ranked St. Francis Cougars improved to 3-0. They've won 3 games by 40 or more points. Indiana Northwest facing their second consecutive top 10 opponent, goes to 1-3, and they get a third consecutive top 10 opponent when they come out tomorrow. Both of these teams will be in action tomorrow. Marion and Indiana Northwest at 4 p.m. Central Time. St. Francis and St. Xavier at 6 p.m. Central Time. Next game is going to be St. Xavier against Marion right here, coming up at the top of the hour. Well, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Appreciate you spending it with us. For producer Madison Wilcox, for Chris Gabor and St. Xavier Athletics, my name is Jonah White saying so long from the Shannon Center in Southwest Chicago. And again, the final score was St. Francis 82 and Indiana Northwest 38.
That's happened to me before. Well, it's like always supposed to sign off with the final score, no matter what it is, but